Wagwan everyone, my name is Kunji and this is Cooking with Kunji. Today, Susie is cooking with Kunji. What are we making today?
Oh, we're going to make some Jamaican bread pudding.
Nice. So this is my grandmother's recipe and I kind of just putting some of our personal twists on it.
I like to add bourbon with everything whenever possible.
So
it's a true story.
We're going to have a bourbon infused bread pudding. This is going to be really good. You want to talk about the ingredients?
All right, so you're going to do some classic white bread and standard loaf that you can pick up at the store. Butter, of course, lots of butter. We also have milk, eggs, some spices. Everything will be below in the comments. And bourbon soaked raisins.
Yes. So we're going to show you guys how we put this together. Stay tuned. See how we make this macaroni board.
So we started with our white bread. We basically used some softened butter. You can either use a spreadable butter or just take a stick of butter, soften it, whether leaving it on the counter or in the microwave. And you're going to spread a thin layer of butter over each piece of bread. You're going to then chop it in fours, so essentially just 4 equal pieces, half and half. Then we just spread it in a bowl, mix some eggs, spices, have some cinnamon, some fresh nutmeg, some freshly ground allspice. If you don't have them or you can freshly do it, that's fine. You can use the already pre-packaged, put the milk in there and just really kind of cover that bread. Eggs as well to kind of bind everything together. Have the raisins. That's going to be the longest thing about this recipe is you want to soak those raisins 1 to 2 hours. If you don't want to use liquor, just use hot water. Otherwise, cover that with bourbon or rum. You can do rum too.
Let's get to cooking.
Let's do it. So we put all of the wet and dry ingredients except for the raisins and bourbon in a big bowl together. Made sure it was really packed tight and that the liquid covered. We waited an hour with this covered. You can just cover it with a dish towel and it should look something like this. So very kind of mushy at this point, very soft. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take these infused raisins and I'm just going to dump it on in there. Get all those bad boys. And I'm just going to give it a stir and then a little bit of a mash. I already have my pans ready, just with some butter to make sure it doesn't stick. I've preheated my oven to 325. If you want to use your convection, just knock it down 25 degrees to 300. All right. And once everything is kind of well incorporated, you can either use your hands or a rubber spatula and just kind of mash some of these pieces in there. We are making a pudding, for goodness sake. This is going to be so good. All right. Once everything looks even, I am going to start pouring it in the pans. If you want to do one big pan, that's absolutely fine. A big rectangular 9 by 13, I believe. Otherwise, carefully. Well, I'm just kind of making this a little look more uniform, not all the bread crust in one area. Kind of just spreading things around just a little bit more. And we're gonna pop this into the oven uncovered for about 45 minutes is when we're gonna check on it. Might need a little bit more time, but let's see.
All right, Susie, so we got some delicious bread pudding. Tell us about it.
All right, so there's two different kinds of bread pudding in the sense of texture. You can either have it soft like a pudding or a little bit firmer. I particularly like it a little firmer, but if you like the soft side, you're gonna cook it for about an hour. Otherwise, you can leave it in for another 15-20 minutes if you like it a little firmer. You ready to take a bite?
Oh yeah.
So this is the soft version with little bourbon soaked raisins. I'm sure those are going to be delicious.
This was really good.
I know. I could even eat the soft version of this. This is good. A little crunch on the outside here.
We did give it a 2-minute broil to just give the top a little crust. Of course, you love that. I want to try this with ice cream later.
I know, it's gonna be good.
It was really good.
I agree. So this is a Christmas tradition, it is bread pudding, and now you know how to make it.
Alright guys, so thank you for watching this video today. The steps and ingredients are going to be in the description below with as accurate of quantities as we can give you. You know, you can put more bourbon, less bourbon, more sugar, less sugar. This is really not super sweet, and you'll get a great balance if you add some ice cream to it. So stay tuned and check out the next video.